Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is September 4th. It's almost time for school to start again. And today we have a translation exercise for you. Here is part A, number 1.
好，我们看到第一句哈，他说，在台湾，我们在9月28日庆祝教师节，以向孔子致敬。他被视为中国古代最伟大的教师。好，那在台湾，那我们直接就讲那个 in Taiwan。然后呢，我们在9月28日庆祝教师节啊。In Taiwan, we celebrate 庆祝 Teachers Day 啊。那 Teachers Day 这个那个一撇 s 啊，你可以撇在外面，也可以撇在里面啊。好，所以呢，这个 celebrate Teachers Day on September 28th 啊。然后呢，以向孔子致敬。我们直接就说好 ，we celebrate this day on 什么时候 to pay homage to 就是向谁致敬。好 ，homage 好 to pay homage to.
And note that many people do not pronounce the H, they say homage. To me, it sounds a little 做作. I have always said homage. I see an H. I like to say an H in cases like these, but many people say homage.
好，所以直接就to pay homage to Confucius. 然后呢，我们要增加一点讯息，告诉你孔子是谁呢？所以我们要打一个逗点啊，再讲说 Who is considered the greatest teacher of ancient China？ 那各位注意到，中文直接就说他被视为中国古代最伟大的教师。好，但是在英文里面呢，比较通常不喜欢把话讲得这么满啊。
Now, it's funny that you say that because as an English native speaker learning Chinese, I see you guys hedging in Chinese all the time. To hedge, H-E-D-G-E, H-E-D-G-E, that means 稍微打一点折扣. For example, you say 稍微有一点好像 you do this all the time in Chinese. But now you're saying that you like to say things more strongly in Chinese.
Well, I think we're partly influenced by Western culture too. When I was younger, we were not so conservative or try to hedge things so much.
Really?
I think so.
You mean you didn't hedge so much when you were younger?
Yeah.
稍微好像可不可以?
Yeah,
you didn't do that
I
so
think
much?
it's a recent development.
Really?
Well, that's my feeling anyway.
Because I've always felt it ever since I've started Chinese. I mean, I think Chinese people, they're always trying to soften things to sound more polite. But Wesley and I had a little discussion before the program, and we said that because Confucius is so central to East Asian culture, not just Chinese culture, I think that's a case where pretty much all Chinese would agree that he was the greatest teacher of ancient China. There's just no argument about that.
对，那这个地方当然也有可能是因为这个孔子他的地位在中国文化里面是非常稳固的哈，所以我们讲到孔子，马上说这是中国古代最伟大的教师啊。其实这个古代已经有一点把它修饰了，不过这个因为它是我们文化里面很重要的一部分，所以我们就会觉得这个听起来没什么很顺。但是英文里面呢，如果你直接讲说他是古代最伟大的教师，这样的话，这个话就是像我们刚刚讲，就讲太满了。
Yeah, it sounds a little strong in English. Can we hear your translation again?
好，我的翻译我再念一次。In Taiwan, we celebrate Teachers' Day on September 28th to pay homage to Confucius, who is considered the greatest teacher of ancient China.
Great. Here's my translation. In Taiwan, we celebrate Teachers' Day on September 28th in honor of the birthday of Confucius, who is viewed as the greatest teacher of ancient China. It's a little long, but I still felt that we should say who is viewed as to make it not quite so strong. One more time. In Taiwan, we celebrate Teachers' Day on September 28th in honor of the birthday of Confucius, who is viewed as the greatest teacher of ancient China.
好，那这里注意就是 we do something in honor of 某一个occasion 或者某一个原因。好，那在这个 in honor of the birthday of Confucius 啊，那这里把这个关系指出来，这一天是孔子的生日。然后呢 ，who is viewed as 就是他被视为。那我是用 who is considered 啊，一样的用法，一样的意思。Yeah.
Okay, and here's the translation in our magazine. In Taiwan, we celebrate Teachers' Day on September 28th in honor of Confucius, who is considered the greatest teacher of ancient China.
这基本上差不多的结构。Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to number 2.
好，第二句，更广义来说。教师节是一个感谢所有教育者为教育事业所做的奉献的时刻啊。那这个更广义来说，我们可以把它翻成 more broadly defined 啊，就是更宽广的定义。 因为我们第一句讲说这个是为了这个向孔子致敬，但是呢第二句讲说我们把它定义的更宽广一点的话，也就是所谓的广义上。然后呢教师节 Teacher's Day 是一个这个是一个做某件事情的时刻。好，那这个时刻呢我用 occasion 来翻，因为教师节是一个场合，是一个时机嘛。好，所以 Teacher's Day is an occasion to do something。 好，所以 to do what 来 to 感谢所有教育者教育者对为教育事业所做的一个奉献。所以呢这是一个 occasion to express 表达our thanks 我们的这个感激。好 to express our thanks， 然后呢 for the dedication 这个奉献，谁的奉献呢 of all who devote themselves， 那所有的把自己奉献到教育事业，我把它翻成 the educational enterprise， 那就是教育的 enterprise 是一个很伟大的一个事情也可以中文也可以把它翻成就是事业的意思好，所以我的翻译我再念一遍，就是 more broadly defined Teacher's Day is an occasion to express our thanks for the dedication of all who devote themselves to the educational enterprise.
Right. The educational enterprise is an established phrase. It sounds a little bit 官僚, but it's okay. This is what the original Chinese says. Here's my translation, more broadly defined. It is also an opportunity to show our appreciation for the devoted contributions of all educators. I left the educational enterprise out because I think it's covered under devoted contributions. Let's hear the sentence again. More broadly defined, it is also an opportunity to show our appreciation for the devoted contributions of all educators.
好，那 Karen 老师刚刚有解释他并没有把教育事业把它翻译出来那是因为其实他在这个英文的句子里面已经很清楚了，他们是这个他们的 devoted contributions是这些所有 educators 的 contribution， 那当然就是他们的贡献，当然就是在教育事业上面贡献的，所以英文里面可以不用把它写出来。
And here's the translation in our magazine. More broadly defined, Teacher's Day is a time to show our appreciation for the devotion of all educators to the cause of education. They've translated it as the cause of education.
好，所以这个教育事业他们用一个 cause 就是一个很伟大的目标那这样子翻译当然也是可以的。好，那另外一个地方各位可以注意到，就是这个中文里面呢讲说我们是要这个感谢这个他们这些人的奉献那我们有人可能会想说我可不可以直接说 it's a time to appreciate the dedication 或者 appreciate the devotion of all educators。 好，那这个地方其实你只用 appreciate 不是很合适。
The reason is because that's just a feeling inside of you. And holiday should be something that we kind of share. So we have to show something externally to the world.
那因为 appreciate 只是我们内心的感受但是今天这是一个节日只大家都要一起来用这个节日来要表达我们这个感谢，所以这个时候应该要写说 to show our appreciation for 什么什么你如果光写 to appreciate 的话，有可能就每一个人自己在家里面自己感谢一下，然后就出去玩了虽然说那可能是事实不过这个东西这里呢各位要注意一下，这个英文你直接用 appreciate 跟 show our appreciation for 这之间的差异。
Alright, so one more time. More broadly defined, Teacher's Day is a time to show our appreciation for the devotion of all educators to the cause of education. We're done with Part A. Let's move on to Part B.
好，那我们来看看这个第 B 这个群组第一题他说，在锻炼身体时你会消耗较多氧气，无论你从事的是何种运动所以不管你从事的是什么样的运动，你都会消耗比较多的氧气。那在锻炼身体时这个地方呢，其实我想大部分的直觉就是我们可以这个讲说 when you are 这 exercising 或者 when you are 锻炼你的 body 等等的。但其实呢，这个锻炼身体在英文里面有一个很常想到的字叫做 workout。 好，那这个字是可以数的。
Right, and watch out because the phrasal verb is work out. I'm going to go work out. But we can also make it a noun, and when it's a noun, you write it as one word, and the stress is on the first syllable. He did a really tough workout. He's going to work out. He did a really tough workout.
好，名词的时候注意那个重音是在前面哈。那所以这个地方呢，我们当然可以说when you are doing a workout， 但事实上你想想，所谓在锻炼身体的时候会消耗较多的氧气，它的意思其实就是锻炼身体这件事情会让你消耗更多的氧气。所以我不一定要把那个 when 翻出来，所以我的这个翻译呢，在这里可以给各位参考一下。我直接用一个这个名词片语a physical workout 这样的一个东西呢 will 会然后呢
just one second. You're right to point out that it's a physical workout because it can also be a workout for your brain. So this mathematics assignment really gave my brain a workout.
那 workout 也可以是个头脑的 workout 那在这里呢，我一开始我把这个 physical 把它指出来，因为有的人会说 workout 本来刚刚不是讲就锻炼身体嘛，但是因为这是 beginning of a sentence 所以这个时候呢，你应该要给你读者多一点的讯息，你不要让读者看到后来才慢慢修正说原来你那个 workout 指的是这个身体上的 workout.
Wesley's point is really, really important, especially in English, because in Chinese you're often you're adding in a lot of background information like 从前，然后什么的时候，在什么地方. All that's going at the beginning in Chinese, but in English we really like a strong beginning of a sentence, especially when it's the first sentence of a paragraph.
好，所以我一开始就先讲清楚，这样读者也可以很确定知道我在讲什么。所以 a physical workout will 会让你消耗更多的氧气那在这里我们主词已经换成这个 workout， 所以其实这个 workout会让你消耗更多的氧气，但所谓会让你消耗更多的氧气，其实就是它会增加你的氧气的消耗量所以我又在这里用把它转成名词的概念所以我是这样翻的 A physical workout will increase your consumption of oxygen 会这个增加你的 consumption of oxygen 然后呢前面半句我就这样翻完了。那后面呢说，无论你从事的是何种运动那无论 no matter 你从事的是哪种运动 what type of exercise you do 这个 do exercise 就是做运动，或者是中文你要翻的这个正式一点就是从事运动你不一定要讲从事运动，翻译的时候你不要去讲从事我要怎么翻你要讲从事
To engage in exercise
那就听起来有点怪怪的那事实上你就想 exercise 前面通常英文是跟什么动词那如果能够找到一个比较 formal 的一个动词很好，如果找不到的话其实就是 do exercise 就可以了
Okay, the whole sentence?
好，那我的整句翻译我再念一次A physical workout will increase your consumption of oxygen no matter what type of exercise you do.
Great. Here's my translation. When doing physical training, you consume a relatively greater amount of oxygen, regardless of what kind of exercise you do. So I'm not repeating anything. Physical training and exercise, two different ways of saying about the same thing. One more time. When doing physical training, you consume a relatively greater amount of oxygen, regardless of what kind of exercise you do.
好，那各位注意到 Karen 老师的这个运动或者是锻炼身体呢，他用两个词来表达，一个用 physical training 一个是 exercise， 这样就不会重复了那同时呢，他用 consume 就是消耗的意思，然后呢，这个较多的氧气这个较多呢，你如果直接做翻 more 的话呢，不是非常的适当因为 more 通常要跟另外一个来比，你才会有 more， 所以这个地方你可以用 relatively greater 相对来讲比较多的所以 consume a relatively greater amount of oxygen。 然后呢，这个无论用 regardless of 也非常漂亮regardless of 后面接名词子句或者接一个名词都可以在这里接的是名词子句 What kind of exercise you do.
Okay, so one more time. When doing physical training, you consume a relatively greater amount of oxygen, regardless of what kind of exercise you do. And here's the translation in our magazine. You consume more oxygen when you work out, no matter what type of exercise you're engaged in. You could also say, no matter what type of exercise you do. That would be an easier way to say it. Here they make it a little more formal, like I just mentioned earlier, to engage in exercise. That's really quite formal. But they're more direct when they say when you work out. And that's really common, so this is a good expression to remember. When you work out, I'm going to work out now. We say that a lot. It's very direct. So actually I really like this part of the translation. One more time. You consume more oxygen when you work out, no matter what type of exercise you're engaged in.
好，那所以刚刚 Karen 老师就指出这个翻译里面的这个 You consume more oxygen when you work out. When you work out 非常的清楚简单有力。好，那这个地方其实这个相对来讲，我刚刚是用名词化的手法来表达。好 ，a physical workout。那这样子这两个差别呢，其实动词通常都是会比较有力的。
Right.
那名词呢，感觉起来是比较冷的那种感觉。
That's right.
那所以感觉起来好像是比较学术上面的那种说法或者是比较正式的说法。那这个事实上。英文里面，如果你能用动词很简单明了表达出来，其实应该用动词会更好。
And I've read that turning things into a noun is a very English thing because Chinese does not do this so much. I read a whole book about this.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Chinese kind of avoids this. Verbs are verbs. We keep them active. In English, we'll often turn it into an object.Yeah,
而且我最近也读到有人说这个英文的名词化是从科学发展开始。
Yeah, and that makes sense because we try to make it look or sound objective.
Yeah, 因为科学要把事情讲得好像非常的客观就不要有感情在里面，不要有太多的动作，而且科学就是表示这个就是真理，真理是个 stable 的东西，不会动的，所以他们就开始有更多的名词化。Yeah.
We are done with our first sentence of B. Here is the second and last sentence for today.
好，那第二个句子，因此运动时最好不要戴口罩，因为口罩会限制你吸入的空气量。那这里呢，我们可以注意一下就是中文这样讲没有问题运动的时候不适合戴口罩，因为这会怎样怎样怎样。但是英文呢，其实你要想这里面这两个子句运动时不适合戴口罩跟限制你吸入的空气量，这两个哪一个比较重要？真正的重点是什么？真正的重点可能应该是运动的时候不适合戴口罩那这个时候呢，你就应该把这个放到，尤其在英文里面，你要把它放到句尾去讲，这样会比较好一点。
This is one way to do it.
Yeah, 这是一个方法。当然你也可以照原来中文这样子这个写法，当然也没有问题好，那我的话呢，我就把它放到后面去了这个我先讲说戴口罩会限制你吸入的空气量所以我就讲说 and because 因为 a mask 就是一个口罩，will 会这个 will 我上一句也是用 will 的在这里不是未来式的意思， will 在这里就是你只要条件满足了就会发生所以 a mask will 然后限制 restrict 你所吸入的空气量 restrict the volume of air 然后呢这是什么样的空气呢？ the volume of air 就是空气量是 you breathe in 是你吸入的好，所以
省略了 that
对，省略 that 好，那 because a mask will restrict the volume of air you breathe in 那这个时候呢，这个有的人可能会说那戴口罩那个戴不用翻吗？不用，因为这个地方 a
What
mask
else you gonna do with the mask?
Yeah, 这个口罩当然就是戴了才会限制嘛你不戴当然就不会限制，你放在包包里面当然不会嘛那这个也是英文跟中文一个很有趣的差别我记得我好多年前我就一个老师就讲过翻译的时候说年轻人喜欢喝可乐，你不用讲说young people nowadays like to drink Coke.
That sounds so funny in English.
对，因为他可乐你不拿来喝，你拿来干嘛
See, we were just mentioning a minute ago about how English will tend towards objectifying things.
Yeah.
So young people like Coke is totally natural.
Yeah.
But in Chinese, you've got these 喝水, 吃饭, 跑步. You've got these phrases established, so it's much more natural in Chinese.
Yeah, 所以这中文英文很大的差别喜欢喝可乐就直接 like Coke 就好了，不用说 like to drink Coke。那感觉想要这
What else would you do with it?
Exactly 那我的老师跟我这样讲之后，是因为他在会议上面跟另外别的老师起了争执，就另外的老师坚持一定要加那个 drink 才叫翻译。
Really?
Yeah.
There's so many differences that we kind of take for granted, but we haven't really dug them out and pointed them out.
Yeah.
So it's easy for people to not notice them.
Yeah, 所以要注意一下，所以这个地方也是一样，所以你直接做口罩就好了。所以 and because a mask will restrict the volume of air you breathe in 逗点，所以呢这个最好不要戴口罩，它的概念这个语气在英文里面我觉得就很接近了 It's not a good idea to do something.
And that's a good choice because often I hear Chinese speakers say, oh, it's not suitable. That is really Chinese-style English.
It's not suitable 是这个是中式英文所以不适合各位想以后就多学一招你可以所谓的不适合，有的时候你就可以说 It's not a good idea to do something.
That's one choice, and it's a good choice.
Yeah, 所以这里我就说 It's not a good idea to wear one. One 就是等于 a mask. 好，所以最好不要戴口罩 when you exercise. 当你在运动的时候。
Can we hear the whole sentence?
好的，那我整句话我再念一次。 And because a mask will restrict the volume of air you breathe in, it's not a good idea to wear one when you exercise.
Good. Here's my translation. Since wearing a mask restricts your air intake, it's best not to wear a mask while exercising. Now, here again, I'm using a noun, air intake. One more time. Since wearing a mask restricts your air intake, it's best not to wear a mask while exercising.
好，那这个地方呢，直接 restrict 后面用这个它所限制的东西，直接一个名词。那各位可以注意到 Karen 老师他这个也是最好不要戴口罩，或者戴口罩不是一个好主意，它也是放在句子的后面啊。然后呢 wearing a mask 是一个动名词片语，表示这件事情啊，这件事情会 restricts 这个地方 Karen 老师没有用 will restrict 啊，也是可以的，因为用简单现在式就表示只要你戴了口罩，这件事情就会发生啊，所以跟那个 will 感觉很像，在这里都可以啊。所以首先各位注意到 wearing a mask restricts your air intake 啊，那另外一个就是 air intake 啊，各位注意到这个重音啊很有趣啊，这个最重的音在 air 上面啊，你不要把它念 air intake 啊，那听起来就很怪了。
Because it's a compound. So intake by itself, but with air in front of it, air intake.
好，然后呢，这个不适合。我是用 It's not a good idea to， 那 Karen 老师这里又出现另外一个可能性啊，因为你也可以这样翻，你可以翻成 It's best not to， 这也是表示不适合的意思啊，语气比那个 It's not a good idea 还要稍微强一点呢。It's best not to，
最好不要，
对，最好不要的意思。
That means you could do it, but we recommend against it.
好，所以最好不要的意思，最好不要戴口罩 while exercising.
Okay, here's the whole sentence again. Since wearing a mask restricts your air intake,It's best not to wear a mask while exercising. Here's the translation in our magazine. Therefore, it's best not to wear a mask while exercising because it restricts the amount of air you breathe in.
好，那这个 it's 一样 ，it's best not to wear a mask while exercising. 然后呢，在这个地方我们把 because 放到后面去因为它会 restricts the amount of air you breathe in 所以这个地方的翻译就是把这个顺序比较按照中文的那种写法来翻了。
All right. Now, when you listen to our program, you may just focus on the translations themselves, but please pay special attention to these little discussions that Wesley and I have about differences between English and Chinese. They will make a big difference in your translation and in your English writing in general if you pay attention to these differences, because there are some things that are different. Don't just take it for granted that things are going to be the same in both languages, even though they're often very similar.
好，那我们讨论的时候呢，讲到一些概念啊等等的，其实这些东西是我们学英文教英文这么多年来所注意到的一些很关键的东西。那各位这些东西你如果学起来的话，不但对你翻译有帮助，对你写英文也很有帮助。
And that's it for today. We'll